Okay, it's time to put in our new seals. And so the first question is, which direction do these things go? Here's how you look at that.
So here's the seal. You have this side where the spring is. Normally that's the side you want, toward the oil that you're trying to capture or keep in. And so that, it'll be this way. But with fork seals, it's kind of a two-way thing. And so they're unique in that way. So they have a spring on both sides. So the way you want to look at this is, this edge, how do I want to explain this? This edge is more open than this. This has kind of a rounded, I don't know. That's the top. So this is out, and that is in, if that makes sense. Typically, too, you'll find that whatever words or markings they have, it will be on the outside edge or top edge. So, a little different with a fork seal than other oil seals where you have a rotational shaft rather than this. Because fork seals are doing this, they've got kind of a spring and scraper on both sides. I hope that makes sense.
And then before I put this in here, I want to point out one more thing. It's possible to drive the seal all the way down so that it's flush with this flanged surface here. But you don't want to do that because, it'll seal if you do. But if you go that far down, when you come to remove it, you have a hard time getting a tool underneath the seal to pry it out. So you want to drive it down enough to clear where the ring and the snap ring are going to go to hold it in there, but not all the way down. And of course you want it to go down evenly too. So we're going to be looking for, whether or not we're at some kind of an angle with our with that socket. And that's why I like to use a deep well socket. It gives you a little bit more surface to judge whether you're completely parallel, and straight. And to help make this a little easier, I am going to put just one little drop of dish soap on the outside of this seal. Dish soap has, of course, a lot of surfactants in it, but is water-based. And it'll make it slippery going in, but then it'll dry like glue. So I just get the seal started gently, and then once I feel like I've got it in the lip a little bit, I can begin to tap it down in there. I'm going to get closer to my work. And again, making sure I've got the outside edge of the seal and I'm not putting force onto the scraper. 32 millimeter is just a little bit inside, but definitely putting the force on the outer ring. Yeah, that's working nicely. Feel when I'm working at a bit of an angle. So I'm just going to finesse it. Getting there. There we go. I just want to take my time with it. There's no hurry. Whoa. Okay, let's call this Harbor Freight rubber mallet review. I don't need to say anything more. little bit more and I'll be below the ring. The other thing I can do is put this ring in there to help distribute some of the force evenly. And then I can also just see how flat I am against that snap ring surface. I've got one edge that's a little higher, so I'm just going to work that down gently. There we go. Let me show you this.
So just looking for the distance between this top ring and that groove for the snap ring to be uniform and the same.
Okay, reassembly. Lower fork tube, valve tube, and the upper tube. Okay. Upper tube, whoa, lost the spring. Okay, too much in my hands. Spring on the lower tube goes into and should pop out the bottom. Then the spacer goes down in the lower, but rather than just plop it down in there, I'm just going to place it on the end of the valve here. So I'm just placing it right on here. And then I'm going to slide that in, doing it horizontally like this, and get over our seal. And just bring it down. So now our bolt with a new copper crush washer on there needs to go in, but we got to put some thread lock on it. Doesn't take much. And the hope is that we have grabbed enough thread. It's going to just spin and spin and spin. I'm going to take a long 3/8. I'll use the other tube and just essentially kind of just poke it in here down to the point where I get a little friction on it. Hopefully that's enough to just hold it, enough to get the threads there. That was it. So now I'm snug. Sorry, I did that off screen. Anyways, this goes down in, holds the inside of this just enough so that this can get started in the bottom. And once it does, then friction on all of these pieces kind of holds the tube in place. And torque spec, let me get the torque spec. The torque spec is 11 to 18 pound-feet, which is kind of a crazy number. There's 10, 11, I'm gonna do like 15 maybe. We'll do that. And hopefully, just enough of a grip on this thing to get tight. There we go. Perfect. So now that we have the lower valve tube and that spacer and this bottom Allen bolt thread locked and torqued to, I did 15 pound-feet, but somewhere between 11 and 18. Then your long spring, paying attention to the tapered end down. The tube can come up now. Then a washer and the short spring. This is progressively wound, so I've got the tighter wound going in first, if that makes sense. And that, when you've got the tube extended all the way up, should come to, just above. Oh, I forgot our fork seal retainer. Got that ring, and then we can put this down. This can be done at any time, frankly. I'm going to get a screwdriver and push that in. There. Not going anywhere. And the last thing to go on is the cap, but we need fluid. The fluid that goes in here is a 50-50 mix of 30 weight motor oil, I think they said 1030 actually, and automatic transmission fluid. So that's stock. If you want to use a fork oil, 10 weight or 15 weight, your choice. Do what you want to do, but manual's calling for motor oil and ATF, that's what I'm going to put in there. And the amount of oil we're putting in per leg, or per fork tube, is 165 milliliters. That in US ounces, and I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about fluid ounces, which is a volume, is 5.58 fluid ounces. Just for reference, 1 cup, like you would use in the kitchen, is 8 fluid ounces. So you can do the math. I don't have a graduated cylinder with milliliters on it, so I'm going to go ahead and do this by fluid ounces, and I'll just use measuring cups from the kitchen. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to measure this out using common kitchen things. You don't need a fancy, fancy's kind of overdoing it. You don't need a graduated cylinder. Stuff you have around the house is good enough. This is a 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup is 2 fluid ounces. I need 5.58 fluid ounces, so almost 6 fluid ounces. So that's one piece per tube. Then I need a 50-50 mix of 1030 weight oil and ATF. So I've got 2 fork tubes. I can simply measure out 5.5 fluid ounces in 2 ounce increments. 3 of them 1030, 3 of them ATF. That's a total of 12. If I have 5.58 times 2, we're almost at 12. You're 11.9 something. I'm not doing the math here, but anywho. And then I've just got this common thing only because it has a nice pour spout. You say, well, Urban Monk, why don't you just use the graduations on the side of this? This has ounces on it. I don't know how accurate this is, and I'd be way down at the bottom. It's such a large container. I don't want to assume that there's accuracy to this thing. This is going to be accurate. So, essentially, 2, almost 3 there's 2 fluid ounces of 1030. 4 fluid ounces of 1030. And I'm going to come just shy of full. There's 6. Well, 5.58. Let's say that. Actually, wait a minute. I want 5.6, not almost 6. So let's back that out. I'm going to do it again. All right, do it again. Two, four, so half of this thing would be 5. There's 5, and then I want essentially 3/4 of this thing. Now I've got the right amount of 1030. And then I need ATF, multi-purpose automatic transmission fluid. Two fluid ounces. Four fluid ounces. Half of a quarter cup is 5 fluid ounces. And then I'll go one more halfway up to almost 3/4 of a quarter cup. That is the right amount of oil for both tubes now, mixed in a 50-50. What I need to do is now split this into two 5.58 ounce portions, because this is 2 of those. Okay, so again, this is the total combined. I need half of this out. Half of this is going to be 5.58 fluid ounces. So there's 2 fluid ounces. Four fluid ounces. 5.5. There we go. So now I've got an equal amount in both of these containers. Other than we've got quite a bit of meniscus. Time to pour it in. And this is for the other tube. Now that I've cleaned up my cap, I'm going to thread it on. Make sure you got the O-ring on the top. And once I've got the thread started, I can finish with a wrench. Alright, one fork tube done. Got a little dirty. Let's pour the fluid in the other one. Okay. And again, I got to clean up my cap. There we go. Well, we'll see how they ride. If I don't like it, I might put thicker oil in, but it's a good starting point. So that is going to be it for this episode, you guys. We got, I don't want to touch this with my dirty hands. We have two rebuilt forks, polished, looking good. We'll get these things mounted, I think, next, and start to work on making a roller out of the Cafe Racer. As usual, I want to thank each and every one of you who has subscribed. Click the like, thumbs up if you like what I'm doing here, and hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted when I put up a new video. This is it for Urban Monk for this week. We're on our way to making a roller. We got forks and yeah, triple tree. And where's Rodney with that seat? I know you're watching, Rodney. Thanks, man. Hey everybody, thank you for watching. Take care.